English Premier League sides have Brentford doing move for Denmark Christian Eriksen. In tennis, Australian Open defending champion Naomi Osaka starts her title defense with a dominant win. We also give you results coming from the NBA as the Minnesota Timberwolves take advantage of injury-hit Golden State Warriors to win 119 to 99 points. All this and more will come your way when we come back from this short break. Welcome back. Now to the stories in detail. British number one Cameron Norrie was outclassed by American rising star Sebastian Korda as Britain's bid in the Australian Open single made an inauspicious start day one in Melbourne. The British men number one, who seeded 12th, lost 6-3, 6-love, 6-4. Norrie, 26, looked the shadow of the player who enjoyed a stellar 2021, losing 9 games in a row from the end of the first set to the 43rd ranked Korda. 5 more Britons led by Emma Raducanu and Andy Murray will play on Tuesday. Dan Evans, Heath Watson, and Liam Brody, who qualified for the men's draw for the first time in his career, are also in action. Moving on, still talking tennis, Japan's Naomi Osaka opened her defense of the Australian Open title with a dominant win over Colombia's Camila Osorio on the one in Melbourne. Osaka, also champions in 2019, raised into a 5-0 lead in the first set before world number 50 Osorio fought back. However, Osaka quickly restarted her control and wrapped up the 6-3, 6-3 win after taking a 4-month break at the end of last season to protect her mental health. Osaka returned to Grand Slam action as the 13th seed. The 4-time Grand Slam champion will play Ukrainian Diana Yastremska or Australian Madison Brengu in round 2 on Wednesday. Moving on, still talking tennis, Rafael Nadal began his bid for the men's record 21st Grand Slam title with a victory over Marcus Giron in the Australian Open first round. 6th seed Nadal, the only former Melbourne champion left in the men's draw, beat American Giron 6-1, 6-4, 6-2. The Spaniard is making his return to Grand Slam tennis after a 5-month layoff with a foot injury. Nadal is the only member of the Big Three competing in Melbourne after 9 times a Melbourne champion. Novak Djokovic's visa was cancelled on Sunday. His sole Australian Open title came in 2009, but he won the Melbourne Somerset in the build-up to the tournament. He was really troubled against Giron, hitting 34 winners to help set up a second-round meeting with either home favourite Thanasi Kokikakis or Germany's Yannick Hoffmann. Elsewhere, Wimbledon finalist Matteo Berrettini overcame stomach problem to beat American's 20-year-old Brandon Nakashima. The Italian took a medical timeout during the second set and rode Emmanuel Gracie on the camera lens after his 4-6, 6-2, 7-6, 6-3 victory. Francis Gael Monfils continued his good form with a 6-1, 6-1, 6-3 win over Argentina Federico Corilla, while rising star Carlos Alcaraz of Spain came through 6-2, 6-2, 6-3 against Chile Alejandro Tobilo. Canadian 14th seed Daniels Shapovalov beat Serbia's Laros Jerry 7-6, 6-4, 7-6, and Polish 10th seed Hubert Hukas advanced with a 6-2, 7-6, 6-7, 6-3 victory over Egor Gerasimov of Belarus. Moving on to the next story, still talking tennis, world number one Ashley Barty trashed Lasia Surenko 6-love 6-1 in just 54 minutes to reach the second round of the Australian Open. Home favourite Barty won 11 games in a row before the Australian finally got on board on Rod Laver Arena. Wimbledon champion Barty barely put a foot wrong, eventually converting her fifth match point in front of a passionate home crowd. She will face Italian qualifier Lucia Brozanetti next. Barty paid tribute to Indigenous Australian heritage and crowd support in a home court interview. Barty broke qualifiers Surenko at the first opportunity and then stabbed over 2 break points in her next game to consolidate her lead. She was dominant throughout and closing out the first set in 24 minutes before rising a 5-love lead in the second set. We'll take a short break now, and when we come back, we have more sports stories on sports around the world. Welcome back, and now to the next story, talking football. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp promised that his side will go for everything in the pursuit of the runaway Premier League leaders Manchester City after they moved up to second. The Red overcame the stubborn Brentford side at Anfield, but are still 11 points over Manchester City, albeit with a game in hand. Fabio's far post header is some of the tension that had built up at Anfield over 43 goalless minutes, but the home fans were relieved when Brentford's Brian Mbeumo sliced wide from a fine position after the break. Shortly afterwards, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain connected with an Andy Robertson cross to double the lead, and Takuma Minamino came off the bench to side foot home a third. It will take a spectacular and sudden disintegration in Manchester City form and near flawless run in for Liverpool to reverse the team's standing by Manchester City have to drop just 10 points so far this season. It was the first time since May 2017 that Liverpool had lined up without either Sadio Mane or Mohamed Salah for a Premier League match, and for a while it showed. Liverpool has shot up and proved to little effect against the 10-man Arsenal in Carabao Cup in midweek, and once again initially dominated possession without making an impression on the scoreline. With Mo Salah and Sadio Mane away on international duty, the hosts lacked the necessary guile and dexterity to prize apart the packed rank of defenders. Moving on to the next story, still talking football. Manchester United former star Luis Nani made the perfect debut with an assist as he set up David Okereke's goal and Valencia a 1-1 draw against Empoli in the Serie A match on Sunday. Okereke has now scored 5 goals in 17 league games in the Italian top flight. Empoli dominated first half with several big chances before Simon Jozorowski volleyed in Filippo Bendinelli cross in the 26th minute. Okereke was one of the players introduced in the 35th minute to replace Sefiana Kiani. Venezia improved after a break on January signing. Nani came off the bench on the 72nd minute for his debut with 1 minute and 57 seconds, providing the assist for Okereke's equalizers. Venezia won it too, but Okereke's goal bound strike was forced one-hand save from Empoli goalkeeper. Moving on to the next story, still talking football. Serie A leaders Inter Milan saw their 8-match winning run come to an end as they were held to a goalless draw at Atlanta. Visitors were looking to move 4 points clear at the top of the table but could not find a goal in a game packed with chances. Atlanta goalkeeper Yoanna Musso produced a stunning save in the second half to deny Edin Dzeko. The result means Inter are 2 points clear of AC Milan. However, Inter City rivals can go top on Monday if they beat Spezia. Atalanta remains fourth, 1 point behind Napoli and 1 ahead of Juventus. Earlier, Sergio Oliveira scored on his Roma debut to give Jose Mourinho's side a 1-0 win over struggling side Cagliari. Moving on, still talking football. Real Madrid won a 12th Super Cup title as goal from Luka Modric and Karim Benzema secured the victory against Athletic Bilbao in Saudi Arabia. Modric scored in a brilliant strike to give Madrid a first-half lead at Riyadh's King Fahd International Stadium. Benzema then made it 2-0 with a penalty after the video assistant referee awarded a spot kick for handball. The striker shot had hit Riyad Alvarez, whose arm were raised as he made the block. Real were also penalized for a handball late on as Eder Militano was sent off for blocking the shot, and Bilbao were awarded a penalty. However, goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois produced a superb save to keep Raul Garcia with his leg to ensure there was no late comeback for Athletic, who won the trophy last year. Victory means Real Madrid move within one of rival Barcelona record tally of 13 Super Cup titles. We'll take a short break now, and when we come back, we still have more on sport around the world. Welcome back. Now to the next story. In cricket, the decision review system will be used for the first time in women's matches between England and Australia, which starts on Thursday. Apart from the men's cricket, for more than a decade, the DRS has been used in Women's World Cups and in series in England since 2020, but never in Ashes. Ashes features 1 test, 3 one-day internationals, and 3 2020 internationals. Teams will each be allowed to review in limited over matches and 3 per innings in one of these. A poor uninspiring decision to dismiss England's banter Fran Wilson in the last Ashes series, which Australia won in 2019, sparked debate about the DRS absence in the women's game. The opening match in the latest series is the first of 3 T20 in Adelaide, which are followed by the test in Canberra and 3 Day 1 test international. England are aiming for their first Ashes series win since 2013-2014. The Tories will arrive in Adelaide on Monday from their training base in Canberra. Moving on to the next story in basketball. A depleted Golden State Warriors side suffered a 119-99 point defeat to the Minnesota Timberwolves on Sunday. The Warriors were without star players Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Gary Payton, who all missed the game through injury. Of key player Karl Anthony Towns start for Timberwolves, scoring 16 points in the first half and finishing with 26 points and 11 rebounds. It was the fifth win in the game in 7 games for the Timberwolves. 3 times NBA All-Star missed out of the Warriors because of disc injury in the lower back, while former MVP Curry was sidelined with a hand injury. Warriors had little answer for Towns, while Jalen Noel and Malik Beasley combined for 23 points, including 8 3-pointers over the Minnesota bench to help seal victory for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jordan Poole scored the Warriors high 20 points but managed just 3 assists and committed 4 turnovers. The defeat came at the end of 4 games road trip for the Warriors. Elsewhere, Donovan Mitchell scored 31 points at the Utah Jazz, beat the Denver Nuggets 125 to 102 points for the first win in 5 games. Bogdan Bogdanovic also scored 21 points for Jazz, while Rudy Gobert, who returned to action, having missed 5 games, provided 18 assists and 19 rebounds. Moving on, talking rugby, Gloucester have confirmed London Irish and Fiji back rower about Tissue will join them for next season. Tissue, 28, has made more than 50 appearances for the Exiles since arriving in January 2019 and has been capped 11 times by his country. He's previously worked under Gloucester head coach George Skivington, who when he was an assistant at Irish. Tissue has made 20 tries for his Irish competition and helped them regain their Premiership status after winning the Championship title in the first season with the club. Tissue only international try to date came against New Zealand in the test match in Dunedin in July. Moving on to the next story, still talking rugby, Sale suffered a Champions Cup defeat as Clement put in their last 16 ambition on hold for a week. Sharks needed a win to qualify but can reach the next knockout stage with victory against Osprey on January 23rd. So put up an impressive fight as the league changed hands several times before the first half ended 19 apiece. But reliable, accurate Clement scrum half Morgan Parra landed 2 penalties after the break to secure a much-needed win for the French side. Parra clinches a victory in a quiet second half. Clement's third Marcel Machelin is a notorious tough place to claim an away win, but things looked promising for Sale. John Locke Perez went over from a short range in the 5th minute. The host Son woke up and Fritz Lee found a gaping hole in Sale defense to score, while Camille Lopez converted, putting Clement ahead. Eventual man of the match Damian Prod then sent a warning to France's Six Nations opponent as he sped through the midfield to break up the wall of blue, uploading an arbitrary racker for a try in the right corner. We'll take a short break now, and when we come back, we'll have more sports stories on sports around the world. In the opening game before ending Sudan's 3-1 in the second Group D game. However, in an interview with Channels Sport TV, the former Shakhtar Donetsk stated that the technical crew has failed to find a solution to creative aspect of the team. The 3-time African champion who faced Guinea-Bissau on Wednesday in the final Group D game. Nigeria have qualified for the round of 16 of the tournament. Moving on to the next story, still talking football. Frank Onyeka's Brentford are among a number of Premier League clubs interested in bringing Christian Eriksen back to England 7 months after he suffered cardiac arrest while playing for Denmark at last summer's Euros. Brentford has inquired about Eriksen's plans following his release from Inter Milan last month. There's a strong Danish connection at Brentford with manager Thomas Frank and international teammates Christian Nørgaard and Matthias Jansen among many knowns to Eriksen. The former Tottenham Hotspur star is assessing his option as he returns with Southern Switzerland just over the border from his home in Italy near Milan. Sports manager Antonio Conte has also said the door is always open to Eriksen at Spurs after they worked together at Inter. The midfielder spent 6.5 years at Spurs before leaving for Inter in 2020. The 9-year-old was fitted with the ICD after he suffered the cardiac arrest during Denmark's Euro 2020 match against Finland in Copenhagen. Moving on, still talking football, Nigerian Premier League, Remo Stars maintain on top of the Nigerian Professional Football League standing after they defeated Wiki Tourist 2-1 in the 6th round of the Nigerian Professional Football League. Remo are yet to test the defeat after 6 games in the ongoing league campaign and have 14 points. The visitors raised to a 2-0 lead thanks to goal from Dayo Ojo and Abdullahi Oyedele before Adamu Salisu put a goal back for Wiki. Ojo opened scoring in the 10th minute before Oyedele made it 2-0 on the 63rd minute. With 15 minutes left in the game, Wiki got what a consolation goal through Salisu as Remo held on for the win at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium in Port Harcourt. Rivers United trashed Kwara United 3-0, which takes them to second spot, just 2 points of leaders of Remo Sports. Goals from Nyima Nwagwa, Rafiu Kayode and Chidebube Duru sealed the comfortable win for Rivers United. In Enugu, Rangers saw off MFF 2-0 thanks to strikes from Tokpe Olursesi and Martin Osim from the penalty spot. The win saw Rangers climb to 3rd place on 11 points in the league standing. And in other fixtures played on Sunday, Plateau United walloped Takada FC 5-0. Abe Warriors beat Atlanta 1-0. Kano Pillars defeated Niger Tornadoes. Enyimba also played a goalless draw against Gombe United, while Nasarawa pipped Lobi Stars 2-1. Sunshine Stars were held to a 2-all draw away from home. Moving on, rounding up on sports around the world, Rafael Benitez says he did not realize the magnitude of the task at Everton following his sacking on Sunday after less than 7 months in charge. The office appointed the former Liverpool manager 61 as Carlo Ancelotti's successor in June. Everton have won only one of the past 13 Premier League games and are 16th on the table, 6 points above relegation places. Everton, who says an update on the permanent replacement will be made in due course, held an emergency board meeting on Saturday to discuss Benitez's future following Saturday's 2-1 defeat at Norwich, which was the 9th loss in the club's past 12 games. So on this note, we'll wrap it up on today's edition of Sport Around the World. I'm Austin Arome. Bye for now.